Hello, Michelle. Hello, Paula. Thank you for joining us. It looks like we are definitely live. Beautiful. Oh, I am taking a breath in to breathe into what will be co-created with you and I today. Yasmine. Yasmine is coming to us from Dubai, and she's somebody I've met on my journey towards self-love, which is what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to invite the beautiful, huge heart essence of Yasmine to introduce herself to those of you that might not know her, maybe have not met her yet. Yasmine, would you do the honors?
Sure. First of all, thank you, Mary, for having me here. I'm super excited. And I really believe in co-creation, and that's where we give our gifts, and that's how we complement each other. So thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for inviting me. And so my name is Yasmine. I am from Lebanon, residing in Dubai. And my journey practically started so my journey is really summarized with the statement from banking to being. I used to be a corporate banker, and for years during my journey, I just completely struggled at being a woman, through biases, being in an Arab culture. I used to be told certain things like, you're not mature enough, you still have a lot to learn, and all these comments. And one day, as I was struggling, in fact, I met with people who put me on this path and who inspired me to actually dig deep within myself and ask myself, what do I really want to do? And that's where the passion of helping others came from. And I realized that I was already doing it during my work. Like, one of my goals was to just walk into the office and make somebody smile or laugh today. And I used to say silly comments just to make somebody laugh, or say something, like I would say something, I would compliment them. And it used to be extremely genuine. And that was my goal. So I was like, this is something that I already did, so why not actually learn it and become an expert in it and take it out to the world? And that's where my journey started. And the time where I decided to take that leap from the corporate world into this journey, I got a message on my phone saying, and I believe in signs because there are no coincidences, but the message said, stop searching for love in the place that you once lost it.
Ooh, stop searching for love in the place
that you once lost it. And I was in the corporate world. And the moment I saw this message, for me, it was like, okay, I think it's time. And as soon as I resigned, after that, I attended Tara Love Perry's self-love immersion class the weekend in Dubai. And I was led to it by a friend, to be honest. And as Tara was speaking, I got really inspired by her story, to the level that I felt that this could be my story as well. Like, this is something that I wanted to bring in. I knew since I was young that I was intuitive, but I never used these abilities.
Right.
And I think this is a story that a lot of women and even males relate to, that they know something, but it was never acknowledged. And the reason why it was never acknowledged, because we were living in certain programs based on our parents and our ancestors that, oh, you can't be supernatural, you can't be super powerful. So as Tara was saying her story, I got so inspired, and she was offering her coaching class. And then 2 days before, I think, the class, I just signed up. I just knew that this was the thing that I wanted to do. This was the method that I wanted to do. And as I was in the class, I got more and more, I'd like to say validations, but I don't like really using that word because it has a kind of a negative connotation. But I got confirmations on my inner knowing saying that, yes, this is the thing. And then all of a sudden, I just felt my heart expand, and I was just all about love. And that's where I got inspired to create my own company and to also pursue my path with Tara and become a mentor.
Yes. Yes. Can you tell me a little bit about that path for a moment, so people can have a look if they're interested as well? Like, You went on the journey that I was on the same journey as you, Yasmine. Somebody mentioned Tara Love Perry's name. My body had vibrations running through it. I was in a dark place at the time. I had been in therapy. I'd been severely ill, and Tara's name came up, and my body started to say, go. I traveled across Ireland to get to her in England to watch her in a presentation about I Love You Me, a whole conference like you were at. And the same thing, I signed up straight away. I knew this was the ingredient I was missing in my life that would bring me to my deeper truth.
Absolutely.
That would perhaps open doors on what else needed to be healed because I had closed them so shut. And I felt bring me into a family that were also on the same journey. I mean, you're my family too. That's why we're here today. Like, we met at that journey.
Yeah,
We met in person as well.
Yes.
So, it was awesome.
And you had a beautiful role to play.
It was an amazing trip in Dubai that we had with Tara. And that's the thing. I think we're all these keys and locks for each other. And when somebody shares their story, like you're sharing yours today, it can unlock something deep within people. And that's why I want you to share what you do right now, because it could be another key for someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I get to the point of what I actually do, what happened is, as I was taking different courses like life coaching, I did Reiki Master, and they were all beautiful. Every single tool. It's like, you know, as coaches, we bring this a toolbox and we put all these resources in, and you know, and then as we grow in our experience and as we connect to ourselves even more, become more conscious of our environment, of ourselves, of the methods and the tools, you start bringing in that intuitive aspect to it. And then you take some ingredients here. But what happened when I took that course, I just felt in that course that everything just came together. Like everything just made a lot of sense. I went, like you rightly said, you go so deep in a very simple, like something so simple that you're gonna be like, how did I miss something like that? You know? And you take that away with you and you start applying it. Like I remember when I did that course, my conversations with my own family changed. The way I handled things, I stopped being the coach per se, even though I had the title of the coach, but I stopped being the coach and I started really becoming that real human being, you know, that real spiritual being who's actually living that human experience. And definitely the journey would entail some ups and downs. So, and even after that, I took other courses, but every time I go somewhere else, I just find myself coming back to this. And I'm like, you know, this is kind of like the, how can I say? It's like, it is the thing that brings everything together. It's,
I Love You Me.
I Love You Me is the thing that brings everything together, because it's that subtle reminder that, you know what, stop focusing on everything outside and just ask yourself, are you willing to love yourself even though this and that is happening, even though you're feeling this way, even though you've been through this trauma, even though you come from this background, even though things are not working out? Are you really willing to embrace that being, that wholeness of who you are, that greatness, that potential, that magnificence, you know, that beauty? And that's what led me on the path. So I practically, and that's what made me actually come to this vision that I want, which is to actually help women rise, to help women express, because that's also a challenge that I was having along my journey. As I started opening up, I'm like, you know, how can I speak about this? What do I say? And it took me time to embrace all of that. And that's the beauty of it, because you're setting these building blocks or these milestones wherein you're paving that way, and you will get to a place where even if you deviate, you know that you need to be back on that path, because that's your true calling and that's your north. So on that basis, I was inspired, like I'm inspired to really help women rise. I offer one-to-one sessions, intuitive So I'd like to call myself an intuitive coach because I can see energies, I can sense them, and I have that inner sense and knowing. I love playing with the mindset because I believe even though even though we see certain things, the deeper we go, it's the wisdom that we gain from these experiences, the learnings, and then the awareness that we bring that will pave the way for an easier life, for a way where we are actually vibrating with life and in that flow rather than I need to do this and that. So intuitively guiding you towards shifting your mindset, embracing who you are, loving who you are to your core. Because when I see somebody, I can see certain, like a lot of other coaches, and definitely you can relate to that, Mary. You can see everything that's stopping and blocking. But in the depth and the core, when I look at someone, I know that there is behind all of that, that great potential, these warrior wings, the peaceful wings, that magnificence, that beauty that lies and resides in every single one of us. So that's how I see people in my sessions, and that's how I invite them for a mindset shift, to actually meet the parts of themselves which they haven't, because that's where all the knowing since you were a child that resided with you, all the ancestral stuff that we carry with us. There's a lot of wisdom, there's a lot of unconditional love. And I believe that we are here activating each other, be it activating towards our darkness or activating towards our light, because the reality is, if you activate towards the darkness, it's an opportunity to see the light. And if you're activating towards the light, it's something that propels you to move forward. So how will you realize the light if you don't see the darkness?
That's a key I would love us to explore and speak about, actually, because one of the things when I did I Love You Me, and I went into that looking within and feeling within, it was something that even you and I have talked about, and Tara kind of, I suppose, showed the way, because I didn't know about it at the time. It was acknowledgement.
Yes.
And the fight that I know I had within me was, I just didn't want to fucking see me. I didn't want to see the parts I thought or had been programmed were dark, like you've just said. Or I was told this is the wrong way, this is the bad way, you can't be that way, don't say that, don't do this. And my whole life had then been pathwayed towards what I thought and should be. And yet something twisted because of that. As in, I would have the shadow stuff come up, manipulative me, liar me, try to hide something me, because what if somebody saw that and I wouldn't be safe and they'd reject me? Like all of that stuff, those personas, you know, acknowledgement. And it's so simple, but it's so important.
Yes.
How is that for you? Like what's the method you use? What's the way that opens the door around acknowledgement for you with that?
So for me, like you said, for me, it was kind of a struggle as well, because of, you know, our biases, our unconscious and subconscious thoughts that we have, that we're afraid to be rejected, to be abandoned if we show that face of ours. But the reality, what I realized, that on this journey, I'm not, you know, the beauty of it is that you're held in a safe space where you're really not showing it to anybody. You're only seeing it for yourself. And that's what gave me a lot of consolation and acceptance, you know, that I don't need to tell I don't need to show this to the world. Although I actually believe that when we speak about these things, when we see ourselves in these ugly, or not ugly, but like unwanted thoughts that are registered in our subconscious mind in ways that we don't want to see them, you know, you're actually exposing yourself to that totality of who you are. Because that was my biggest learning on the I Love You, and that was the biggest thing that blew my mind away, is that the reason why we have all of this is because we believe that we're separate.
Yeah.
And that belief that we are separate results in all these being stored. And as we continue believing that we are separate from that aspect of ourselves, we're resisting it, and what we resist persists. We already know that. So as much as you keep shutting it down, it will expose itself, either in people around you who actually mirror that to you, or you exposing it to yourself in certain ways or behaviors or patterns in the way you do it. So yes, acknowledgement is difficult, but I guess for me, being so kind to yourself and remembering that you are brave to actually face that, you are brave and courageous to actually allow yourself to see all of that. You're very loving to even embrace it, even if you're not really embracing it, because it's going to be difficult. There's going to be that slight resistance of like, oh my God, this is like uncharted territory. No, I don't want to embrace this, because we have also that thought of, oh, if I'm going to embrace this, that means I'm going to give myself permission to actually do this, then I'm not a good person. Then that self-judgment comes. So you're getting into that cycle of self-critique and self-judgment. So for me, it's really being present with that thought and really being kind to yourself.
I think what we mentioned the word actually, and kind for me feels like compassion.
Yes.
Forgiveness goes hand in hand with compassion. You know, they're going together. And compassion, as we were saying before we came on the live, like that energy right now is flooding in to Earth, like this week, especially with the solar flares happening, the Earth vibrating at a certain level. We have the full moon, which is in Earth, and it holding also compassion energies. You know, we're coming into that. It's like we can talk about these things and they sound so simple, and acknowledgement being the first step, it almost like opens us up to the forgiveness, which lets the floodgates in of compassion, which then lets the next floodgate in of love. It's like these steps.
And they're so intertwined, right? So it's not this before that or that before this. And this is what I learned from the I Love You Me method and self-love, is that sometimes it's just all about forgiveness. Maybe the acknowledgement comes from the forgiveness, when you actually are willing to forgive. And then after you forgive, then you're going to be like, oh, okay, now I can acknowledge, you know, now I can say, yes, this is what I'm receiving from, let's say, my ancestors. This is what I'm getting from Mother Earth. And this is what I'm getting from God, universe, or that life force that we have. This is what I'm getting from my breath. And that's the beauty. And, you know, I think the key here that we all keep forgetting and we need reminder of, and this is what I always tell people: celebrate these small things that you do. Even if it's just you remembering that today I'm going to be kind to myself. Celebrate that thought. You know, we tend to be too focused and too busy with a lot of other things that happen, but we forget that today I had actually a very positive thought about myself, and acknowledge that. And when you start building that focus towards that direction, it becomes easier. It's very easy to get trapped in all the
network. Yeah, we're helping.
Or the other option is always believe that you have a choice. If you're getting caught up in that darkness, then believe that you can choose to actually either seek help, you know, to a coach or a mentor. You can just have a heart-to-heart conversation with somebody, because like you said initially, that person might actually give you the tip of the thread, you know, and they'll give you like that key which enables you to actually see your path for what you want it to be or how you want it to look like.
Right. That I know when I was starting off, I don't think I realized that the forgiveness aspect was actually forgiving myself. That opened me to self-love. And what you were saying there as well, the thanks, the appreciation, like these are all little steps, because sometimes it can feel so vast, like what is self-love? There's all these little cookie pieces or jigsaw pieces that kind of we discover or embody then along the way. Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? How we make it hard, but it's actually so simple to love ourselves.
Absolutely. So it's like, for me, I'm like, drop the idea that you need, should, could, I have to, and all of that. And just be in the moment, appreciate these little things. And as you start, like, I remember my eyes, my lenses just changed the moment I did that. I just started seeing things in a completely different light. I'm like, okay, now let's say I'm sitting on this table, I'm going to appreciate my wings. I'm going to appreciate the flower behind me. I'm going to appreciate myself for actually showing up, no matter how I showed up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to appreciate myself for expressing myself. I'm going to appreciate myself for what I brought onto the table. I'm going to appreciate myself for being present, you know?
Yeah. It's a key part. I'm with you use the word choice, like, so we have, these are the steps, I suppose. We have the acknowledgement, we have the forgiveness, we have the appreciation, we have the transformational choice. You know, and that's it. So we actually don't realize how much choice we have. We have a choice to go, we have a choice to forgive, we have a choice to seek something else, we have a choice to leave something or go towards something.
Yeah.
And we can feel caught often in a spiral where we don't realize we're divine beings with divine will choice. We are not powerless.
Absolutely. We're not powerless. We're not here to heal. It's a choice that a person makes. I will, like, for me, that's why I said, for me as a healer or as a coach or whatever you want to call me, I'm just a human being coming and sharing my gifts with the world. And I feel honored to be able to do that. And I just, like, I've had people ask me, do you think everybody has that? I'm like, yes, definitely. I believe that. I believe that everybody has a gift. Everybody. And I attended once a class, and that really stayed with me. And the person who was teaching the class was telling us a story about Dharma, about our purpose.
Yes.
Or our highest purpose, right? So, and I was very intrigued by the story. So the story was a person hopped into a cab, and the taxi driver was just completely fully dressed up, polished. He had water. He had, I don't know, maybe coffee as well. I don't really remember the story with its nitty-gritties. But the moral of the story was that the person who was riding the taxi didn't feel that they were riding a taxi. They just felt that they were riding with somebody who had a purpose. And his purpose was to actually make a very nice experience to the person who was actually getting into his car.
Right.
Can you imagine? This person was actually living his Dharma.
Yeah. Oh, I get a chill when you say that. Yes, it can be as simple as that.
This person, and we tend to forget because we tend to look out. Okay, this person is doing this. I want to be that. That's great. Inspiration is amazing. And it's true. If you don't see it, you can't believe it. And if you don't believe it, you can't see it as well. You know, so it goes both ways. And inspiration is great. But I think the key to loving yourself as well, one of the really drastic changes that I had is just stay on the path. It's stay on your own path and stop focusing on who does what. And you're not walking their path. You're walking your path. And your path really matters, however way it comes across. Maybe your purpose is just like, what about all the people who help the elderly? They have a brilliant purpose. They have an amazing purpose. The people who help people who are dying, you know, who take care of them, who stay with them, who read for them, these people are actually living their dharmas. We're not any better than them, and they're not any better than us. So for me, it's really stick to your path, be inspired, take action towards what you want, and acknowledge yourself every single step of the way. And I have my own moments of where I like go down crashing. Things are not working, it's not happening. I'm not getting what I want, I'm not getting what I desire, and why? And in these moments, yes, I let myself be I cry it all off. Maybe I speak to people and I ask for help. Maybe I just talk to somebody. Maybe I just sit with myself and journal. And sometimes I just get this thought. I'm like, you know what? This is great, because this is actually giving me the opportunity to ask more questions, to dig deeper, to discover more about myself, about this world, about the mysteries. And because when we think that we've got it all, you learn compassion, then you learn deeper compassion, then you learn deeper compassion, you learn love, then you learn deeper and deeper and deeper until you get to that unconditional love, and you'll continue being given the opportunity to explore more and get deeper and deeper into that.
I really feel those words that you're speaking right now, because there's a vastness to compassion, and we have a very limited idea of what that looks like. Compassion and self-love, I put that in at the same. Compassion is the expression of love outwards as you feel it within. That's maybe a kind of a way to say it. It is the embodiment aspect of love as it's experienced outside of yourself by others, where everything is, there's nothing to forgive. It just is, you know, you're in the isness of all, and it's peace. And so very few people, I feel, I wonder, I query, have experienced actual true peace every moment of every day, if that makes sense. Like that is you said, you know, it's, that in itself is a dharma, I suppose. But wow, if we could be in that space of compassion, love, and peace, there would be no war, there would be no separation, there would be no suffering. That in itself is a purpose, divine, no matter what you're doing or saying or being, right? I suppose it's Christed energy as well, you know?
Absolutely. Even people who, like for me, I'm like, even the people who hand me over my coffee, if they're actually telling me, have a wonderful day. Wow. For me, it's like, this person is really enjoying what they're doing, and they're really coming from that space of love. You know, they're actually coming from a space of service. So for every person who's actually listening, I think this is a crucial message, that like the fact that I'm saying it is also something that I need to hear for myself as well. You know, be purpose driven, be purpose led. And that's why they say, when you lead from the heart, nothing could go wrong, you know, because it's that space where you bring in that unconditional love. You're outside that judgment. It's not that we're shutting the mind off. On the contrary, the mind is super powerful, and we need it to manifest what we have in our lives. We need it to be in that space of co-creation as well. We need it to perhaps give us some structure as well. You know, we're not ruling that out, but what we're saying is open that heart space and actually find purpose in what you do. Like recently, I've been attending a lot of stuff about women, and somebody said, one of the leaders said, and this is something that's absolutely true, mothers or housewives think that they don't have a job, but in fact, they have the biggest job in the world. They have an unpaid job. You know, they have an unpaid job. Their only reward for that job is their offsprings, and what value do they bring to their lives? The only thing that they're doing is they're actually just giving unconditionally through their service.
Right.
You know, clearing the space, cooking, taking care of everybody, being super alert. That's a big dharma.
Yeah. Whew.
You know, and this is where women, I believe that when women actually acknowledge all of that and remember that they can create life in their body.
Yeah, creation energy.
They have that creation energy, and they can actually channel soul through their vessel, through their body vessel. That on its own is the biggest power that they have. So once they acknowledge this for themselves, and they might not acknowledge it all at once, you know, like I'm still not yet a mother, and I aspire to be one day. But me thinking of this thought, I'm like, how can I think of myself any less? How can I deny what I'm capable of? How can I not choose to acknowledge who I am, not choose to acknowledge my purpose, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can see you mesmerized with all of that.
Mainly because I kind of mentioned that a lot of my channelings this week have been around compassion and mother energy and bringing that outwards and being the embodiment. And I'm still integrating, and this is perfect why we're having this chat today, you know. And I want to say these words, I'm going to get emotional just saying it, like, I am the embodiment of love, compassion, and peace. I am the embodiment of love, compassion, and peace. I am the embodiment
of love,
compassion,
and peace.
Yeah.
And you know, right there, it's as simple as that. You just made that decision, you know, and as intuitive, like when I see this intuitively, so how I see it is like the decision, when you make that decision, it just drops as you drop the resistance or surrender to that decision that you've taken. And these are all choices.
Yep.
You choose to surrender. You choose to decide. You choose to believe. You choose to embody. You choose all of that. And for me, it's like you drop this decision, and as you choose to surrender, your channels or everything inside of you just opens up. It's like you create space for that environment to be conducive for that love and peace and compassion to just become not just a part of you. You've just activated it because it already exists.
You can see, like, we're talking about this. I am having the opening in the throat. Can you hear our throats are going? Because this energy, like just giving it voice is making us open. Like, I don't know about any of you ladies watching. I can see Paul is here. We've talked about it yesterday. I can see Joe is here, and I know, Joe, you're going through your thing, and Elena and Sadie, and I know all you ladies. I'm just looking through who's here. And Michelle, hi, welcome. I don't know if you girls have been feeling this, you ladies, but I've been having like physical heart pain, and it's not because I have a heart issue. It's the actual expansion, right? I mean, I'm wearing the heart top for fun.
Yeah, and you're wearing pink. Beautiful feminine energy color.
Oh, like this is the sacred heart right here, and I can feel it almost like somebody's getting their hands and they're doing that, and I'm and I'm having to breathe into it and allow and not fight it, because I understand that even though this is actually a physical representation, it's proof that, Mary, some part of you is loving yourself a little more because you're letting go of something right now. You mightn't understand it.
Yes.
I don't understand it all. But you're allowing, and I'm having to be in that state of allowance constantly. And because girls, ladies, gents watching, these energies are making us, they're almost saying like, okay, the time to wait on the sidelines where you're not making a choice is no longer optionable.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not making it optional. It's not optional anymore.
It's now, and it's now. And we used the word compassion and love earlier, and I'm very much cognizant of, yes, individually we're going through this transformation, but we're being everything outside of us is trying to distract us right now from this. It wants us to feel something else. It wants us to feel fear. It wants us to feel the pain. It wants us to feel we can't. It wants us to feel the doom and the dread. I'm going to, like, the war, and then before that it was the corona, and before that it was something else, and right after this there'll be something else. The economy stuff is going to happen. The weather stuff is going to happen after this. And this isn't me prophesizing. It's very easy to see the patterning here. There's a plan in place, and the plan is in place to make sure that we don't reside here. And empathy, we are all empathetic. There's, 99.999% of humanity has empathy to some extent. Maybe you're number 2 or number 4 or number 5, but you have it.
Yes.
So when we see everything happening, we're going to feel it.
Yes.
And the thing there's a difference between empathy and compassion. Sometimes we confuse them. There isn't, and you know this, Yasmine. I think we've talked about this before, actually, maybe last year. And empathy can be a little bit of a double-edged sword when it's not utilized in a way that's self-loving as well, because it can make us want to take on everything else that we see, but also fall into the energy of that despair, into the energy of that pain. And then we get a little lost in it and it feels overwhelming and we shut down. And in the shutdown, it's very hard to be here.
Closed, yes, of course. We build these walls around our hearts because we're like, oh my God, I just want love. We're here to have love and connection. That's one of our primary needs.
And part of the journey of self-love is acknowledging, we use the word acknowledging the empathetic, the feelings, the emotions, even the thoughts that we're hearing outside of ourselves, the programming, and integrating that, forgiving if it's making us go a certain place or bring up something, and even re-triggering trauma that we might have, PTSD. Some of us might have that happening right now.
Yes.
All right, I'm bringing that space of openness in so that we bring it all the way through the body and it gets to leave. So it's not overwhelmed or shut down anymore. We're resetting nervous systems and then moving into the heart space. This is super simplified, but do you have any thoughts on that? Because it's so prevalent right now with what we're seeing. Via relationships as well. You wanted to bring up relationships. What is this for you?
Absolutely. For me, the key element about relationships. So what really shifted for me after 2 years of doing all of this, and this is something that has come up recently for me. So for me, I started taking life as an aspect of purely relationships. And relationships, I don't mean by relationships just between me and my mom and dad and my brother and sister, or you or the people around or whoever's watching, just human beings or even animals. No, I mean by relationships, my relationships with my home, physical, my body, money, materialism, ancestors, absolutely, ancestors, God, earth, and anything in between that you can think of, you have a relationship with. And for me, what shifted when I started looking at things from that perspective is I started asking myself, so if this is showing up for me, so if it's triggering me, so what to give attention to? What is it that I need to acknowledge? And sometimes, and this is something I adopted with Corona as well, during the times of COVID, I was like, you know what? We believe that there is a greater force and everything is moving in divine order. So the order is really not disrupted. It's always moving, even if our perception is evil is more than good or darkness is more than light. It's still in that imbalance. It's still moving in that perfect harmony. So what brought that kind of shift for me was, you know what? If I need to acknowledge myself and in my totality, in my darkness, in my breakdowns and successes and my negativities and my shortfalls, in all of it, then I also have a duty or have a kind of responsibility to also acknowledge everything that's happening around me, including COVID, in its totality. Because that divine order, if that divine order did not allow this to happen, then it wouldn't have happened. And that's how I see it. The moment you shift that perspective, you will realize that you will stop resisting. And the moment you stop resisting, it will stop triggering you. It will stop impacting you. And you will start dealing with things as they come, in their small little chunks, in these waves, that in the way that they come. And you're like, come what may. Let that be. and I will ride the wave whenever I need to. Even though I'm saying this now from a different perspective, because that's what I kind of learned as I moved forward. Previously, I used to be like, oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, there's a lot of fear. What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen next? And I'm like, I was getting messages all the time. Stay in your center. Stay on your path. Stay focused. Remain in that love energy, and then stop, really shift your focus from that space or that area and stop resisting it. Just be with it. It's there. And that's where you said it's like embracing that peace, you know, be that peace in the midst of the chaos.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It's not easy. So for everybody, for you and anybody who is on this path, especially people, conscious healers, coaches, intuitive people. Sometimes I feel like, oh my God, what is happening? And I'm like, all the downloads are in my body, and I just feel like, okay, where's the outlet? What do I do here? What do I need to do? You know, like, sometimes you just have to be like, you know what? It's overwhelming. It's okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, I feel that. How about we move into right now with our intention for love, compassion, and peace? A little meditation for people, and we could bring in some healing codes after with our light language, because of course Yasmine, she was part of one of my first light language workshops, and your light language is so beautiful. I get to experience it, I remember, in our BQH sessions together as well. It's just beautiful, Yasmine. And if it's ready to come through, I know publicly you haven't done it publicly, have you?
I haven't done it publicly. I've done it with you, and I've received a couple of them from Paula. Who's been, I'm gonna put it out there, Paula. She's doing light language transmissions for my lovely orchid.
Oh wow.
Because I believe that she has a special connection with nature. So
we had her last night on with light language.
Yes, I saw in the trees, and it's brilliant. But yeah, I'm ready. I think I will just set the intention of bringing in what comes through, and the moment I say that, I just feel like my throat is just ready to just open up. And I'll just invite everybody to just, after this conversation, to just lean back and be present with your beautiful, beautiful breath that's been giving you unconditionally, lovingly, and peacefully. And just allow that space within you to open up. And you don't need to understand what that space is. It's just you being present with your breath and with yourself. And take a couple of breaths to just connect. And like Mary earlier, she just didn't just acknowledge the fact that she's ready to embody compassion and love and peace. Be ready to embody whatever you want to invite into your space right now. And say, I am ready now. That's your choice. And feel that power of your choice. I am ready to be, or to embody, and use your own words. Love and compassion and peace. Across all your relationships and your aspects. Just receive this light language.
Yara suranda ye. Andra kwaria la Allahus. Kendra sototaye kindara sulurode. Vesarasu. Vesarasariuru. Maoyo. Menearasu atiaquarasu. Et umdrar, et umdre, et umbra, et candra, et sinagaro kuso. Sharo so 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 so. Sharo so soro sondanama iria no no no. Equaye, equaye. Narara Surendriya, Danara Sunindriya, Andara Anatta, Qui Konobe Satara, Vishuddhakas. It is time, it is time. We are being called here together to open our hearts and receive. And we invite Yasmine once again to bring through the final code as we close out.
What I see, and I would invite you all, whoever is on this call or whoever is going to see, with these sounds, go back to the place where you were in the womb. And it's not necessary, and this is exactly what I'm seeing right now, it's not necessarily the womb of your own mothers or the mothers of this lifetime. It's just that greater womb where you all once existed as infants, as the children ready to be born. And with these sounds, allow the voice of acknowledgement of your existence in that space of creation. And invite that forgiveness to all lifetimes, across all dimensions. And I'm being invited to say all of that. Embody that you in that space of that magnificence, of that greatness, of that beautiful creation, of that divineness, that divine love that you already are. Invite that forgiveness across all aspects, all relationships. And I'm being invited to say that as it's moving through my own body. And I can see you receiving that as well. Moving through my all-knowing and through your all-knowing. Call in that wisdom, that love, that truth, that belonging, that home. This is who you are. Forgive all aspects and all relationships, be it money, wealth, health, body, this world, this earth, God, universe. Across all religions, I'm really being invited to call everything in. Just embrace it with me because you have that power within you. And open your hearts from that infant that you are and receive these sounds to really come home to your absolute truth and ground it in your being, in your body right now. Feel that light flowing through you from your head to your toe as an infant. that divine child that you are is ready to come in. Receive yourself, your divine being right through your heart. Gently and softly. Feel your loving infant coming through your heart. I can see the heart space completely open, welcoming that divine being that you are, and that's your truth. And I would invite you to celebrate yourself coming home through your heart. You can say it in your words or in your light language. Put your hands on your heart. I can feel the fire in me rising. I don't know what about you, ladies. I'd love to hear your feedback. Mary.
LU Seraphim. The tones and frequencies through Yasmine are of the Seraphim realm, the high angelic beings, and they are connected to the stargate, to what was and what still is LU, Lumeria. These are the codes of the Great Mother as they come through her. Receive them to open the hearts. We thank you, Yasmine. Gualara wunda, eriala wulu sukure. Feels like to me, Yasmine, that we're being brought back into the womb to be reborn.
Yes.
Fresh, baby new, not jaded.
Yeah.
You know, not confused, not in pain, just baby new. Thank you.
Thank you. So much gratitude. You don't know what's going through my body.
I'm coming back home now as well. I'm calling all parts of me home. I had a soul retrieval during that as well, Yasmine. A part of me caught in a cave in fear. So thank you. Oh, come home, me, all parts of me. And I invite all of you out there just to say the same. All parts of me come home right now, back into the love and truth of all that I am. Come home. As I breathe in, I receive me more. All fractals of me, all fragments of me, all light of me right now. Come home, come home, come home. Thank you. I love you, me. I love you, Yasmine.
I love you, Mary. And I love you all.
Oh God, the tears. I feel like we're complete. Is there anything that you would like to share? So,
Not at all. I think it's best to be left in that beautiful space. I just feel the energy is just vibrating through my whole body. I just feel I've been having backache for the past 2 days, and I just felt like my heart just went like from the back, and beautiful.
yeah, like your wings behind you now.
Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe we should all like extend ourselves out to feel our light bodies.
Yeah.
Oh, stretch the back, because the back chakra, there's a lot of happening there at the back of the heart too. Breathe, integrate nature, water, ground, socialize with those that you resonate with, and you will be back nice in the center from what Yasmine has shared with us today. I want to say as well, if any of you are feeling like you're drawn to see more of Yasmine, to work more with Yasmine, please go to her page and understand that her and Tara Love Perry are right now, am I correct in saying this, opening your doors soon?
Yeah, we opened the doors. In fact, we're starting our first group on the 28th. So that's going to be my first mentoring call. We're welcoming people into the group today. So it's really exciting. Where the people can actually find the training if they're interested in pursuing that. And I'll also share my website and my social media pages for whoever wants to get in contact. Please feel free. Happy to connect. Always.
I love you, my darling, and thank you all you ladies that I can see are watching. Paula saying absolutely beautiful heavenly tones. It was very high seraphim tones you brought through, my love. Yes. Michelle Foster, hello. She's saying thank you. Sadie, Leslie Smart, thank you so much for this. I've been so shut down for the last few weeks, and I could feel your words, your codes opening the spaces that I had closed. What would it take for me to stay open, even if when it's maybe especially when it's tough? Yes, Leslie, we feel you on that. These type of connections help, don't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Sophie is here. Hello. She's in our new light language group. We're beginning tomorrow. Anybody that is feeling the call, there is one space, and I don't know who the soul is. I know there's a soul. I've left it open for you. If your heart is saying, I need this journey with Mary, with Paula, with Zahara, with Naomi, with Laurel, we're the co-hosts and hosting this workshop. Connect in. We're starting tomorrow evening. If you can't make tomorrow evening, there's catch-ups at the weekend, but this is a soul journey of awakening and opening that you'll be doing with us. You'll know it in your heart. Okay, I'm saying it because there's one, I can feel your soul saying to me, hold the space open one more day. And I'm like, okay.
That's beautiful. In fact, I want to say something about light language. When I attended it, for me, it was a completely different experience that awakened that creative aspect of like the non-judgmental part of really, and like I say it behind your back and I say it to your face, Mary. And I know now there's going to be much more energy and more things coming up as more people join with Paula and the co-hosts that you have. It definitely, for me, I still remember like when I was drawing, I remember my hands were drawing and I was like, what is happening here? I don't know what's drawing, what is drawing, you know, body movements. I just felt like, oh my God, it's been ages that I haven't moved my body and how important that is. So definitely for me, that's an experience. And I wouldn't have been able to do what I did today if I hadn't been activated in that sense. So thank you so much.
Co-creation, as we've just done. So everything is co-creation in the perfect sense of source, I should say. So thank you, Yasmine, for bringing me these codes again, healing my heart today. And thank you, ladies watching, because you've also helped co-create. Maria's, I'll just close out on Maria. I've dizziness, foggy mind, ears ringing. All of that is, I feel like we're all moving through it. Drinking, grounding, acknowledging, and we send you love as well, my darling. I get you. I had it this morning and I have to sometimes ground extra. Love you, ladies. Thank you so much. I think we are completely complete now. Thank you to the energies.
Thank you. Thank you for that co-creative space. I love you.
I love you too. Bye, my darlings.